All right, let's talk about a challenge that probably keeps a lot of network architects up at night. Just complexity. As our companies spread out across the globe and dive deeper into the cloud, our networks can start to look like a real tangled mess. Today, we're going to untangle that mess with a service called Azure Virtual WAN.
So let me just start with a question that I bet is going to hit close to home for a lot of you. Does your network diagram feel like it needs its own diagram just to understand it? Yeah, if you're nodding right now, you are definitely not alone. This is the new reality for so many of us.
And this is what that reality often looks like, right? It's just this web of point-to-point connections everywhere. You've got your branch offices, your own data centers, users dialing in from who knows where, and of course, all your stuff running in Azure. Every single one of those things needs its own secure, reliable connection, and trying to manage them all one by one is, well, it's a huge headache.
So let's really dig into what we're calling the modern networking tangle. I think it's super important to understand the problem before we can really truly appreciate the elegance of the solution.
This right here breaks down all the different threads in that tangle. We're not just connecting point A to point B anymore. Oh no, we are juggling branch connectivity, maybe through SD-WAN, we've got our classic site-to-site VPNs, we have remote users needing access, and we've got those big high-speed private connections like ExpressRoute. But you know what the real kicker is? Trying to make all of those different things talk to each other seamlessly. That's the hard part.
So how do we fix this? I mean, the dream has always been to manage all this craziness from just one place, right? So let's talk about how we can get to that single pane of glass.
And that brings us right to the hero of our story today, Azure Virtual WAN. At its absolute core, it is a unifying service. It takes all those different connection types we just talked about, the VPNs, the express routes, the remote users, and it pulls all of their management, their security, and their routing into one single place to operate from.
Now, you might be thinking, whoa, this sounds like a massive all-or-nothing project, but it's really not. You don't have to boil the ocean here. You can actually start small. Maybe you just tackle your site-to-site VPNs first, and then, as your needs grow, you can expand from there. The whole thing is designed to be super flexible.
So to really get how Virtual WAN pulls all this off, we need a simple way to think about it. And the best way is to imagine you're building a superhighway for your network, using that classic hub-and-spoke design.
Okay, so the first piece of this puzzle is the virtual hub. Now, this is a virtual network sitting in an Azure region that is totally managed by Microsoft. You don't have to touch it. Just think of it like a huge international airport. It's the central point where all your network traffic is going to connect and pass through.
And connecting to that hub are what we call the spokes. Now, what are the spokes? Well, they're all your different endpoints, your branch offices, your remote workers, those private express route circuits, and even your other virtual networks running in Azure. They all plug directly into that central hub, which completely gets rid of all those messy point-to-point connections.
And here is where it gets really, really powerful. If you decide to create hubs in different Azure regions, let's say you put one in the US and one over in Europe, they are automatically connected to each other in what's called a full mesh. And this connection isn't just running over the public internet. No way. It runs over Microsoft's own high-speed global backbone network.
This brings us to the real magic of this whole system, something called transitive connectivity. Because everything connects to a hub, and all the hubs are already connected to each other, any spoke can now talk to any other spoke. So a remote user in Asia can securely get to a server that's connected via ExpressRoute in Europe just by passing through the hubs. It makes everything so much simpler.
Okay, so we get the architecture, it's pretty cool. But what does this actually mean for you day to day? Let's break down the key advantages in really simple terms. So why does this matter? First, you get these integrated solutions that can automate all that tedious site-to-site configuration, especially if you're using partner SD-WAN devices. Second, connecting your cloud workloads is now just a simple spoke setup. It's easy. And third, when something inevitably goes wrong, troubleshooting is way more intuitive because you can see the entire end-to-end traffic flow all in one place. It's really all about making network operations simpler.
Okay, so let's say you're interested. Where do you start? Well, there are basically two main flavors or types of virtual WAN that you can choose from.
The choice really comes down to these two tiers, basic and standard. You can think of basic as being for your more straightforward, simple site-to-site connectivity needs. Standard, on the other hand, is what unlocks the full comprehensive set of features that we've been talking about.
This table here really lays it all out. As you can see, the basic tier is pretty much limited to just site-to-site VPNs. If you want to connect ExpressRoute or bring in your remote users or use that really powerful hub-to-hub connectivity and the integrated firewall services, well, for all of that, you're going to need to step up to the standard tier.
But here's a key piece of information to remember. You are not locked into your initial choice. You can absolutely start with basic, and then if your needs change and grow, you can do an in-place upgrade to standard. Now, you can't downgrade, but the important thing is you're never locked out of getting more powerful features as you expand.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one pretty impressive number. Every single one of those Microsoft-managed virtual hub routers supports an aggregate throughput of up to 50 gigabits per second. So this isn't just about making management simpler, it's also about building a network that has massive scale and serious performance.
So there you have it. That's Azure Virtual WAN. It's a way to take that complex, tangled web and transform it into an elegant, high-performance global network. So the question I'll leave you with is this: are you ready to untangle your network? Thanks for tuning in.